Okay, so let's talk about this God, the biblical God. You know, capital H, Him, the Alpha and Omega, the transcendent, omnipotent, infinite, holy, and immanent creator, God. And you Christians, you worship Him as your Savior. Well, to me, hello? All right. Well, to me, this God is nothing but a jerk.
What?
I think it just got quiet in the church. I guess I said something wrong, but with no shame, pass me a megaphone. As I present this deep question to you worldwide, Jesus clones, and the question is this. Why in the world is there so much suffering if this so-called God exists? Can you answer? You know, your religion makes a little sense until you witness all these children being diagnosed with cancer. And the child's scream that's filtered into the palm of their molester. The sex traffic victims, school shootings, the gas chamber. All the cries and screams. Where was He? Oh, that's right. He chose not to intervene. And you expect me to believe there is a God of sovereignty who is all powerful, good, and knowing? Man, you cannot convince me. Because an all-knowing God would be aware of the perversion. He would be aware of the corruption that has for centuries been erupting. He is all-powerful to stop evil and is able to relieve pain. And an all-loving God would surely want to intervene, right? So don't tell me there's a God. Are you that foolish to still believe? The truth is that we're alone. Look around. Can't you see? If I may, sit next to you in this time of need. As a Christian, I'm called to love you regardless of what we each believe. Every point you made provoked nausea within me. My tear ducts broken like Katrina's levees. Suffering is not just felt by me, but we, the atheist and the Christian. Both our souls cry out for justice, fist up, justice. But for that, a judge is needed. I mean, who else can permit justice? God will judge this world perfect, fair and perfectly, and oh, we will rejoice while suffering remains only a distant memory. But atheism, by definition, removes hope entirely. You say, in the beginning was matter, no purpose nor design. Then primordial slime became intelligent Homo sapiens. I'm sorry, but I must decline. You limit life to time, therefore we suffer, and then we die. No ultimate justice applied. Well, I believe that morality evolved way back in time, and regardless, a future justice doesn't excuse these evil crimes. Wait, you said evil, so then you admit that there is good. And only a moral law can help differentiate how people should or should not live, whether it's like a Mother Teresa, or if a crime is what they commit, a moral law is required. You see, without God, your problem with evil is just an illusion. Denying a moral first cause only leads us to confusion. If morals formed with evolution, then your feelings are a delusion. Deterministically speaking, you can't get mad when people are feuding. They weren't destined to comply, but yet you still try to state your opinion about what's right or wrong or what can and cannot fly, but nah. You are not qualified to decide. Because you are just an advanced generation of soup and slime. Who are you to define? Who defines the value of a human life? Nobody. Unless a moral law is at hand. And everyone knows that a law requires a lawgiver. Understand? You believe that we are time plus matter plus chance. So in other words, turn up, get drunk, and let us dance to the music of our DNA, which knows or cares. Your argument self-destructs if you hold to these affairs, you see. You see, in a universe of blind physical forces and genetic replication, we are going to get hurt, and some of us will get lucky. And you won't find any rhyme or reason, nor will you find justice. The universe we observe is exactly how it should be, if indeed there is no God. Nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. You see, if you take away God, then you take away morality. And without that, good and evil is just a fallacy. Because in a culture of autonomy, moral reasoning can't be defended rationally. And don't get this from me. The top atheists agree. I'm just relaying a message that should already be believed. Your team is in a huddle discussing this playbook of schemes, so I suggest you get your facts straight when you face God's kings and queens. You are not ready. So it seems. Tell me, why would God create beings with the ability to lie, cheat, hate, steal, rape, kill, manipulate, and deceive? He couldn't find another way? How limited is he? You're absolutely right. Yes, God could have done just that. But if he had, it would not be you that bloomed from the root of what our God would have had to do. It would not have been you that was being mixed within that brew in order to produce that kind of paradise. It's like being brought up in poverty, struggling most of your life, right? Then making the claim that had my mom only married the richest man in the world, then I wouldn't have struggled financially, having a rich man for a father. But the fact is this, you wouldn't have existed. Some other conceived kid wouldn't have struggled financially. Yeah. You nor I would exist in a world created differently. Did he make us perfect? No. He made us his object of affection. Amen. Wanting fellowship with the creation that could produce a genuine sensation called love. Amen. Yes, love. Amen. However, the ingredients for that required the ability to choose. God knew that was the only way for love to exist. Here, let me ask you this. Do you feel genuine love from Siri because of how she tends to you? Or do you think you're being truly loved just because you say, okay, Google? Of course not. It's just a robot programmed to assist you. The value is in the choice, like when somebody says, I love you. So see, we have options. To love or to hate. Wait, what about the problem of people dying from earthquakes? Tsunamis and mudslides, viruses and diseases? Natural disasters aren't evil, so why in the world would God allow this? Well, let's ask the scientists. Science says the earth is fine-tuned for life to exist, so God could have done it different, but we aren't the results of this. You see, the same water we need to drink is the same water you can drown in. The same sun we need for life can cause cancer to the skin. Without the shifting of tectonic plates which cause the earthquakes, we'd be a water world with no landscape. But wait, God made all the laws. He couldn't create an alternative that was safe, that still allowed for human life to exist? That's a disgrace. Can God make a square circle or tell a truth-filled lie? If omnipotent means powerful, but with no rational or logical limitations applied, then of course. Well, fine. God's design can stay the same. But then when evil strikes a person, he surely could intervene. Implausible. Because that would remove free will entirely. It would affect our natural laws. For example, let's take the law of gravity. If gravity held us down, but then our God would intervene by turning gravity off because he heard the loud scream of a person being pushed from the top of a high building, what kind of world would that look like? Nothing would be predictable. Not the natural laws, nor the human action. You want a knife to chop vegetables, but then suddenly become dull if a stabbing was trying to happen? What exactly is it that you're asking God to do? I just can't wrap my mind around a God who would let his creation suffer. It seems your problem isn't his existence, but rather it's his character. Similar to Job. It's like this. If your father was rich, Bill Gates in a sense, and you needed some urgent financial assistance, yet he chose not to help, no daddy to the rescue, I'm sure you would question if he really cared for you, but you wouldn't question his existence. Look, I know we seem defenseless, facing suffering, death, and loss. But one thing about our God is that he defended us on the cross. Amen. Nah, he became a part of it. Crucified, suffered more than all of humanity combined. The weight of his plate was more than yours on Thanksgiving Day. Let us do some thanksgiving for the one who came to save. I said, let us do some thanksgiving for the one who came to save. Amen. Just to redeem us, so though we suffer, death won't sting us because we are guaranteed to rise, which gives hope and brings peace to the mind. The pain, it's like a shot a child receives at age 5. It's a 1-second sting compared to the rest of their lives. Don't you realize this life is 1 second compared to eternity?
Amen.
Hear me earnestly when I ask you, what do you plan to do? You, yes, you and me, we have a decision, so what will it be? Atheism? Naturalism? Determinism? Evolution? Regardless of what you choose, the problem of suffering still remains. I mean, seriously. We as people need to really stop playing these games. Are we simply a different degree from an animal? If so, then why do we even hold humans accountable for simply engaging in survival of the fittest? No animal gets put on trial, nor do we quest for a witness. I'm gonna just end it with this. People killing, people dying, children hurt and we hear them crying. Will you practice what you preach, or will you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning, where is your love?
Hallelujah.